working on the top of this dresser. It's a pretty long dresser, and I'm going to be painting this with the 1 Hour Enamel, and you have to work pretty fast with the enamel because it dries so fast. You kind of treat it like a top coat, so you don't want to overwork it. You got to lay it down and leave it and let it self-level, and if you overwork it, it gets streaks in it. So that's tough to do on a long dresser like this, but I'll show you how I do it. And my tip is to practice with the primer. You are going to need to prime anytime you use the 1 Hour Enamel. It's a good idea to prime first to help the adhesion of the paint. So I'm going to practice on this long dresser with my primer to kind of gauge how I need to work with the enamel when it comes time, because it doesn't really matter for the primer. It doesn't dry as fast as the enamel, but it's a good way to kind of practice and get a plan in place for how I want to lay the enamel down when the time comes. So I'll kind of show you what I'm doing. I've already practiced 2 brush width sections, so I know that this isn't going to work for me to just do one glop of paint and spread it out both ways, which is what I would normally do. So instead I'm going to do it in 2 horizontal sections here, the width of my brush. That's probably not making sense when I say it, but I'll show you. So I just lay some down here, spread this out this way, and then this way, and then I'll get another glop, spread it out this way, until I have the entire width of the dresser covered, and then I do one final smoothing pass, and that's how you want to do the enamel too. So what I was saying is it won't work for me to just do one dip of my brush to get the entire length of the dresser, so I divide it into 2 equal width sections, if that makes sense. So anyway, a little tip for you: practice with your primer so that you kind of have a plan in place for when you're when it comes time to paint the enamel, and that way you kind of have an idea of how you're going to lay your paint down, and then just leave it and let it self-level.